Good afternoon. Hello, 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 and welcome to your Mindful Monday session for today. Hopefully you can hear and see me okay, and I hope you're well today. I hope you're well. I've been a little bit under the weather, so I might be a little bit sniffly and coughy, so I do apologize for that. I'm going to do my best. Let's see how we get on. I also should say that I've been chasing a fly around my room for the last 10 minutes because I didn't want him or her to interrupt our session. I knew that if there was a fly buzzing around, I would really get distracted by it, and you guys might get distracted by it too. So as much as mindfulness is about accepting our experience, that doesn't mean that we can't look to change it, to do what makes sense to us. I could have left the fly in the room and just buzzing around and could have allowed it to be part of the session. But I chose not to. He might actually pop up, who knows? You know, you can never know if you get rid of a fly, maybe a new chappie will come in. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that little story with you because you can still make change, meaningful change in your life. It doesn't mean that you just sit and are a victim to the circumstances around you. Let's start by defining mindfulness as we always do. So what is mindfulness? Well, mindfulness means maintaining a moment-by-moment awareness of our thoughts, our feelings, our bodily sensations, and our surrounding environment through a gentle and nurturing lens. Mindfulness also involves acceptance, meaning that we pay attention to our thoughts and feelings without judging them, without believing, for instance, that there's a right or a wrong way to think or feel in a given moment. When we practice mindfulness, our thoughts tune into what we're sensing in this present moment, rather than rehashing the past or indeed imagining the future. There's no right or wrong way to think or feel in a given moment. There is only the way that you feel. There is only what you think. Those thoughts, those feelings, we often come to conclusions with regards to meaning around those things, and often we get them wrong. More often than not, in fact. If you're able to understand that and accept that, then you're really going to get an understanding and an applied and practical understanding of how you can use or not use your emotions and your thoughts. So let's go ahead and get comfortable. Close your eyes. And you can be seated, you can be lying down. Again, I did have some feedback that somebody fell asleep during one of my sessions. So if you do have a tendency to fall asleep, perhaps lying down isn't the one. I don't really want you falling asleep. It's fine, of course, but it kind of isn't the purpose of these sessions. The purpose of these sessions is to capture attention rather than relax you into such a state of relaxation that you drift off. So get yourself comfortable. Close your eyes. And let's take a few deep breaths together. But I want to ask you to notice your breath now first. Just notice how you're breathing. Are you breathing through your nose? Are you breathing through your mouth? Are you breathing deeply already? You may have just slowed down already in anticipation for our breaths together. And most importantly, where is your breath? Are you breathing deeply into your diaphragm? Or are you breathing more into your chest here? So when we breathe normally, generally speaking, we breathe quite shallow. We take short breaths and we breathe fairly shallow. The deeper we breathe, the more we can train our diaphragm. The diaphragm is a muscle, I think, at the bottom of the lungs. And we can expand that. We can actually take much deeper breaths. We can actually hold our breaths for longer. You'll find all manner of professionals finding that breath work, that expanding the lungs is a worthwhile pursuit. One of whom would be obvious would be swimmers, but also singers as well. Opera singers, professional singers. So notice where your breath is now. And let's start to really deepen that breath. Let's go right into the depths of our lungs. And the way that you know that you're doing this correctly is if your belly is expanding and contracting. And your shoulders really shouldn't be moving much at all. It should be all that movement via your belly. Just take a moment now to do that. And then we'll take some deep breaths together. So breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Inhale deeply, hold, and exhale completely. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out. And just return now to a more comfortable pace of breathing. Return to your normal breath. And notice the difference. Is there any difference? You can absolutely train your breath. It takes attention and practice. And you will have heard me say this before, but such a reliable indicator that we're focusing on this present moment when we attend to our breath. So to spend a little bit more attention on this constant, reliable function, process, something that's been with you since the day you were born. That seems like as worthwhile a practice as anyone could ever do. Notice any sounds in your environment right now. I have the whirring of my laptop. I can hear the remnants of a plane somewhere outside. Some bird song. Someone's doing some work in their garden, it sounds like. And the whirring of the laptop. Can you hear those footsteps? All of these sounds appear different. But they're all just vibrations being sensed by the ear. Vibrations being sensed by the ear. And made sense of by our brains. So there's almost a two-way street or a two-way process. The vibration enters the ear, or the stimulus enters the body. Doesn't enter the body, it's experienced by the body. Whether that's sound, whether that's light, whether that's touch. It is processed. And then an assumption is made about that noise, about that sound, about that stimuli. And then it appears as though there's an outward trajectory, but there isn't. Your body is really just like an antenna, just receiving information. And then our brains process that information and make sense of it. They make meaning out of that information. Today's session is on care. How much do you care? How much do you care about the people around you? How much do you care about yourself? But also, similar to last week, we looked at intention. Can you live your life with care? Self-care is a phrase which is getting a lot of attention at the moment. And you could argue that giving yourself this 30 minutes is self-care. But self-care is the most important thing we can do as human beings. And I genuinely mean that. Self-care is the most important thing we can do as human beings. And what that looks like can be all sorts of things, all manner of things. A mindfulness session, a meditation, a yoga session, a bath, a run, a film, a walk, a book. Genuine me time or you time. Me being you. You know what I mean. And why is it so important? Well, you can't pour from an empty cup. If your battery is flat, you can't help the people around you. You can't love the people around you fully. You can't give any more than you have. And I know that many people listening to this might put themselves last. And they put other people ahead of their own needs, other people's needs. And there's occasions where there's time and space for that. But you'll find the more that you do this, the more that doing things for other people fills up your cup. Or you kind of think it does. And people say that I don't want to be selfish. To put yourself first is selfish. And I would say that putting yourself first is the most selfless thing you can possibly do. It is the most selfless thing you can possibly do. Because it means that you can be fully attentive, fully engaged with every other person that you meet and care for. In this journey of life. Now, if you have young children, I know that's difficult to hear. And their needs must be met before your own. But it doesn't have to be a 30-minute session like this. It can be a 1-minute breathing exercise. It can be a cup of tea. It can be a 5-minute walk around the block. Anything just to bring your awareness back inwards. Perhaps to your breath. But fundamentally, it's where we lose ourself. You can lose yourself in a book. You can lose yourself dancing around the kitchen. You can lose yourself in sport. It's interesting, the term used for perhaps increasing our knowledge of ourselves is self-development. I don't want you to develop yourself any more than you already have. I want you to lose yourself more often. And by self, I'm referring to that thinking mind, that ego, that monkey mind that chatters away, that tells you what you should and shouldn't be doing, that compares yourself to unrealistic ideals, the more you lose that element of yourself, the more you lose yourself, the more peace you will feel, the more peace you will experience, the more present you will appear. Your focus, your attention can be squarely fixed on this moment, not on the past, not on the future, right here, right now. And whichever way you lose yourself, as long as it causes no harm, is good with me. And even if it does cause harm, hopefully it doesn't harm others. In a moment, I'm going to count down from 5 to 1. And when I get to 1, just in your own time, bring your attention back to the room you're in. Slowly open your eyes, but try not to rush off anywhere. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Take care of yourself. Genuinely take care of yourself. I hope that you were able to go on a journey today. I hope you were able to stay awake. That's number 1. If you stayed awake, well done. Congratulations. And if there's anything that you got out of today's session, then that is a gift purely for you and for you alone. So enjoy it, and I will see you again next week. A little comment from Jane here as well. You're so welcome. I believe that putting yourself first doesn't mean you're putting anyone else last. Thank you for the reminder. You're so welcome. So take care, have a lovely week, and I will see you again next time. All the best.